Like the title says, DC, like Marvel, continues to just be hell-bent on circling the drain when they hire franchise-killing authors with no regard to what effects it might have on future sales. Hello, this is Mara Jade, and I'm here with another video. It's going to be a rant of sorts because, as the title says, DC Comics circles the drain, reveals gay Alfred and Chinese-American Bruce Wayne and more franchise-killing abominations. DC Comics, I really hope that you see this video, or at least someone who works for you sees this video, because this is what happens when you hire people, so-called creators, who have no idea what they're doing, no idea about the characters themselves, and on top of that, do not care because all they care about is putting whatever spin they want to put on to the character and the franchise, whatever identity politics they have, whatever socio-political agenda they have, because that's at the forefront of their minds. Not telling a good story, not having respect for the characters, not respecting any of the established lore coming forward. No, all that matters is wiping the slate clean and stamping their own identity politics onto it. That's all that matters. But anyway, I'm going to go into this article and give my 2 cents, again, on these so-called creators that DC hired for this. I'm not going to call it a book. It is an abomination, as the title says. It is an abomination to Batman because this is not Batman. I don't care what the title says. I don't care what the author says. This is not Batman. But anyway, I'm going to go into it and let people know what I think. I hope DC sees this. Alright, DC Comics rolled out the red carpet with a big, snazzy Entertainment Weekly interview for their latest creative team that effectively butchers Batman canon. Not effectively, it just outright, flat out nukes it. It just nukes Batman canon. That's because the author... Wait until you see what the author says. Alright. Melissa De La Cruz and illustrator Thomas Patilli spoke with the magazine about their upcoming graphic novel, Gotham High, that EW describes as Batman meets Gotham Girl. Fuck you, EW, and fuck the authors of this book. The interview began with De La Cruz admitting she has no clue about Batman. Yes, the author hired to write even a young adult spin on the character admits she only knows it through her boyfriend. Here it is. She states, or her husband, I should say, my husband is a big Batman fan, so when DC called and said, we want to do a young adult line, what character do you want to do? I wanted to do Batman. It's such a fun, iconic character that I could put my own spin on. Okay, as much as I love Batman, the last fucking adjective I would use to describe would be fun. Necessarily. I mean, like, there are entertaining parts to it because he's my favorite superhero growing up. But fun? The Dark Knight? Are you fucking kidding me? And anyway, again, if her husband had any respect for the character, any self-respect for himself, he would say, honey, no. If you're going to do this, do your own research on it. Or don't do it at all if you don't know the character. If the guy had any respect, any amount of intelligence, if he didn't sound like a cuck, the way that, like, it comes off, he would have put his foot down and said, no, you're not going to do this to the character I love. Patilli did express his knowledge of the character, admitting he grew up watching Batman the Animated Series, so at least he has at least some background on the character. Not much, because it looks like he just grew up on the Animated Series, but still. I grew up on the Batman the Animated Series cartoon back in the 90s, so ever since then I was hooked. As far as superheroes go, growing up, he was always my number one, so for me to get to work on an incarnation of Batman, it's a dream come true. Well, too bad this is not fucking Batman. Too bad. But at least you have more experience than the so-called writer. Oh, God. Radically altering Batman and his mythos. Here it is. After admitting she has no clue about Batman, De La Cruz then details her lack of knowledge doesn't matter because she's radically altering the character anyways. It doesn't matter. All that matters is whatever spin she wants to put onto the character. Even if it disregards existing canon and lore and respect for the established characters themselves. DC, what the fuck is the matter with you? Who greenlit this? I want names. Who greenlit this shit? She explains Bruce Wayne is the billionaire. He's the richest man alive. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if his family was Chinese and from Hong Kong? That made it feel real. De La Cruz then details she's basically telling an autobiography of her own life using a DC Comics character. Again, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's been a big influx of wealthy Chinese people who moved from Hong Kong to Arcadia and Los Angeles, or in Los Angeles, and that's where my mom lives. I'm part Chinese. My brother lives in Hong Kong, so I thought it would be great to put what I know into Bruce Wayne. To put what I know, not what the creators know, not what the creators established, no, what I want. I just wanted him to be a little more representative of my background. I fucking hate the word representative right now. You have no idea. And giving him an authentic family. So basically you're saying that him having white parents makes it less authentic? Are you fucking insane, woman? You are so fucking racist when you say something like that. As for how Bruce becomes a billionaire, a preview of the graphic novel indicates that the money comes from his mother and his mother alone. So God forbid his father demonstrated just ingenuity and hard work and perseverance and his own intellect to build up Wayne Enterprises. God forbid a man does anything. Do you have any idea, Melissa De La Cruz, where we would be if certain men did not invent things, did not form companies? I don't give a fuck who forms the company. Because I judge the person based on the characteristics. And you're saying the fact that he's a man, no, that's a no-no. We gotta give it to the woman. We have to make the woman the power broker behind the scenes. So again, fuck you. She then admits that Alfred will be gay. Why? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. She's just doing it to give herself progressive brownie points and virtue signal to people, young adult readers, who most likely do not give a two shits about the Batman character to begin with, to say, hey, look, I'm progressive just like you. She states Alfred is not just his butler, but also his uncle, his gay uncle from Hong Kong. It gives it this fabulous Crazy Rich Asians sheen to it. Again, showing she has no idea about the Batman mythos. No idea. So she's basically taking the badassery of Alfred, because all she sees is a butler. More, I'm guessing. All she sees is a butler. Never mind his badass military background. Never mind the fact that he himself can kick ass. No. So you're going to put actually a racist spin on it if you think about it. Again, DC, you were my favorite growing up. I love DC Comics. My dad grew up loving the Green Lantern and the Flash. So DC for me is my go-to. But this, I wouldn't even buy this to make fun of it. That's how pissed off you're making me. If it wasn't clear this entire book was about pandering, Batelli details that breathes new life into the character, especially in today's world, since we're living in the most diverse world we've probably ever lived in, so it's more representative of Batman in 2020. Was the world any less fucking diverse than it is now? No, the only reason why it's diverse is because you are pushing virtue signaling pandering into the forefront. You are judging characters based on their skin color, sex, and sexuality first, because that's more important to you than what is deep down inside of the characters, what resonates with people, which is what their personalities, their hopes, their dreams, their moral compasses, their choices. That's what resonates with people. Not the superficial qualities. So, again, fuck you. He adds, and since he's a teenager, this is also what I hate about it, is the fact that, again, they're making him a teenager to not only make him, I guess, for want of a better way, appealing to the young adult crowd, but then you are appealing to the young adult crowd by turning it into a shitty CW show in graphic novel form. I tried my best to put a little bit of myself into the character as well, channeling those feelings of being an adolescent and feeling like an outsider. I definitely wasn't a billionaire, but oftentimes I felt very separated from everyone else around me. Alright, fine. But did you have to radically alter the fucking character to do this? No, you didn't. When asked on what her inspiration for the story was, De La Cruz admits she wanted to reinvent Chuck Bass. Oh my fucking god. A prominent character from Gossip Girl. I pitched a kind of Gossip Girl Batman, and in my mind I wanted to reinvent Chuck Bass. He's still Bruce Wayne, it's not the Great Gatsby, so he's still brooding, he's still a loner, he still has all that iconic Batman personality, says De La Cruz. What the fuck does that even mean? These people, like, she's supposed to be a writer. She can't even express herself. Jesus fucking Christ. And, again, demonstrates she has no idea at all about Batman. She did not have to channel fucking Chuck Bass to create the Batman character. He's already fucking brooding. She added, but making him Chinese was a no-brainer. Everyone was on board from the beginning. Oh, well, no-brainer. It shows that you have no fucking brain, because you came to that fucking decision. Patelli was much more upfront, admitting the entire slate was wiped clean. He explains, from an artistic standpoint, the history of Bruce Wayne and Batman was essentially wiped clean. I wasn't held down in any way to one specific thing. No, you weren't held down to the established canon set forth. She basically said, fuck you, I'm done, I'm doing my own thing. And I'm going to insert whatever socio-political agenda I have, because the slate is wiped clean, and this is all that matters. He added, it gave me an opportunity to think of this character completely differently than how other artists had drawn this character over the years. Again, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter going with established canon. Although I'm against this from the beginning, because this is not my Batman. This is not Batman at all. Joker, not a villain. Okay, this also pisses me off right here. It's not just Batman and Bruce Wayne that are being radically altered, but Joker is as well. Patelli explains there's so much of that Instagram culture and social media culture with teens today. It's like Marvel. If Marvel was saying, how do we take Quicksilver and resonate him with audiences? Like take the 90s X-Men cartoon. How do we resonate with young teenagers nowadays? How about this? He's into making mixtapes. You're basically saying that you are focusing on the superficialness of young adults and the teenage mindset, and completely disregarding that every teenager is different. Jesus. Fucking. So I tried to interject that into the style and look of the characters, specifically with the Joker character. He adds, he was the hardest character to visualize and design because he's not your average villain. He's almost not a villain at all in a way. Fucking hell. Have you not read any fucking comic books? You said you watched the Batman the Animated Series. Did you not see the shit he did in those cartoons? And you're saying, oh, he's almost not a villain at all, in a way. He goes back and forth where you sympathize with him sometimes, and sometimes you see him as a villain. There, I can maybe kind of agree with, because in a way, if you read some of the comics, look deep into it, like maybe he might come across as sympathetic, but he is a psychopath. So that sympathy he is depicting is reeling you in, it's manipulating you. That's how the character controls people. He's really not sympathetic at all. Deep down, if you really think about it, he's manipulative. Again, you claim you watched the Batman in the Animated Series. So I wanted to give him a look that played off both sides of his personality. He then admits he modeled the character on his own look. I had this haircut, and it's the same haircut we ended up giving the Joker. It became a great reference throughout the process, since I had just had to look at myself. In a weird way, the Joker character is the most like me. That says a fucking lot about you. A love story. Oh, Jesus. De La Cruz then details the main focus of the story is a love story. Fucking hell. She explains, I wanted to write about a young Bruce Wayne, so obviously there's going to be a love story. Why does it obviously go to a love story angle with these people? What does it... I can't even right now. The Joker's pretty hot, so he's got to be in there. That's where I started. DC. Part of me will be sad when this happens, but part of me will be like, I fucking told you so, when you finally go out of business, when you keep hiring people like this. In fact, there is an apparent love triangle between Catwoman, Joker, and Batman. She explains it by referencing Truman Capote's Cold Blood. I always remember this quote from Truman Capote's in Cold Blood, where he's talking about the killers, and he says something like, "We came from the same place, but I walked out the front door and he walked out the back door. There's this feeling that they're the same person, just with different circumstances." I wanted to put that in the Batman-Joker dynamic. They're almost the same person, but Bruce has all his privilege and Jack has nothing. What does that do to who they become? And then there's a girl in the middle. The hottest girl to ever walk the halls of high school. Laughs. And what does she want? So basically, Bruce has all this privilege. Never mind the fact that he lost his parents at a young age. They were murdered in front of him. And he had to grow up essentially an orphan, raised by Alfred. No, he has all this privilege. Never mind that yes, he has that wealth, but a lot of his character revolves around his intellect and his ability to create his own suits, his own weapons, his own technology. He doesn't hire anyone else to do it for him. Initially, he does it himself. His ingenuity, his perseverance, his hard work, much like his fucking father. She adds, it came out of trying to figure out all their desires. What does Jack bring to Selina that's different from what Bruce brings to Selina? Well, Joker would bring to anyone, basically, if he didn't torture them first, death. Ultimately, you don't know who she's going to pick. You root for both of them, and there's a surprise in the end. I wouldn't even buy this to use as toilet paper at this point, DC Comics. Plans to ruin more characters. De La Cruz then revealed she plans on destroying more characters. I would love to play a little more. We have minor characters that we can get to know a little bit more. A bit more, like Poison Ivy and Harvey. If you don't you ever fucking touch Poison Ivy. Or Harvey, or any other fucking characters in the Rogues Gallery. Oh, jeez. I don't think it's the last we'll see of Selina, Jack, and Bruce either. I fucking hope it is. At least in this iteration, I fucking hope it is. I'm hoping to do more of Jack's story in the second book. She even adds, we barely even saw Robin. Yes, there is a part, of images they released where it shows that Bruce defends Richard Grayson at the beginning. And they made Richard Grayson black. Why? Patilli adds, I love the idea of building up more of that Poison Ivy character and Harvey character, so hopefully that happens. I'd love to continue drawing these characters. Well, too fucking bad you're not actually drawing those characters. You're drawing abominations of them for a young adult novel that should not have seen the light of day. It looks like DC Comics just saw just how amazing and brave and stunning Marvel Comics' New Warriors and Lucasfilm Star Wars The High Republic pitches were and wanted to get in on that. So basically, they threw their hat into the cringe ring and said, hold my beer. They wanted to absolutely destroy their bread and butter character of Batman and Bruce Wayne and turn him into Jake Man and Jake Wayne. It worked so well for Disney Star Wars sequel trilogies. Yes, it worked so well. This is... Why is the entertainment industry, whether it's movies or gaming to an extent or comic books, why do they insist on demonstrating repeatedly they are walking definitions of insanity? But they couldn't just stop at Batman. They decided to eviscerate Joker and Catwoman as well and have plans to do more. Circling the drain might be an understatement. This book deserves to be immediately shredded and then flushed down the toilet. I'm not even buying it to do that. I'm not even buying it to use as toilet paper at this point. I'm not wasting my money on this piece of CW shit in a young adult graphic novel. It's really what it is. But anyway, drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know, what do you think? Do you agree with me when I say that basically this is DC nailing the final coffin nail for their company, for the franchise itself? Or do you think maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on it? It's for young adults. You need to turn your brain off when you discuss things like that, even though I think it's insulting to teenagers and young adults in general, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up or leave a thumbs down. At this point, it's my opinion, and it's your opinion to leave whichever one you want. If you like it, also share it on social media if you will. You don't have to, because I'm, again, not in Twitter Chill at the moment, so I'm able to do so myself. But anyway, this is Mara Jade. I hope to be doing a live stream tomorrow, Wednesday evening, around 8 p.m. or so my time. I will tweet out the details once I nail down the final time I would want to do that. And look for my next video where I either tear into something or at least give my 2 cents on a pop culture topic or social commentary. Until then, this is Mara Jade, and I'll catch you on the dark side. Take care.